Okay.
Perfect.
Pre-show cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to you.
And cheers to you.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Our University of Utah Utes kick off the 2023 football season. Let's break down the defense.
And finally, the hottest team in Major League Baseball.
Finally.
Last
but not least, the Utah Jazz are going to be one of the up-and-coming teams. Who's the other one?
All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. Check out the merch. This is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
But first, as a reminder, we are doing a $500 giveaway. Once this channel is monetized, 5 lucky subscribers will each get $100 from us as our way of saying thank you for supporting the channel. So make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for more.
Absolutely.
All right. How's it going, AJ?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. We had a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
We took a week. We had some work stuff going on, but
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Believe it or not, DNA OGs out there, we have day jobs. So
well, unfortunately, yeah. It's going to take a few more subscribers for us to not have day jobs.
Yes, exactly. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the support in the comments and watching our videos over the last week and a half. The engagement has been insane. We absolutely love it. We actually had some commenters mention the fact that we have such high engagement for such a small channel, and that's all your guys is doing. So much appreciated. But with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and first talk a little bit of Utah Utes football, man.
Oh man, I love me some Utah football.
So we are at the time of recording 8 days away from kickoff of the college football season, which is August 31st, 6 p.m. kickoff here local time in Salt Lake City, Utah. Tell me about it, man. What are you feeling?
Dude, I'm literally so excited for the Utah football season to kick off. I almost can't even sit still. It's going to be a great game, for one. I loved the last video. We had a ton of comments. Look out for the Gators.
Yes.
Look out for... And I love it, man. I mean, they got a great... The Florida Gators are going to be a very tough football team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're no joke. They're in the SEC. They've got a ton of really, really talented players all over the field. Comment below. Let us know who you like for the Gators, for sure. But I'll tell you what I really like about Utah, and that's this... just insanely talented returning defense. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and dive right into that. Now, obviously, most people are talking about the issue at the quarterback position. We may touch on that. We'll get to that later on, but let's go ahead and focus on the defense for this week.
Yeah.
Let's first break it down. Let's talk about the returning. So first of all, before we jump into the returning roster, let's talk about how good the Utes were last year on defense and what we got coming back. So Utah was ranked in the top 2. They were ranked second in scoring defense in the conference of the Pac-12, and they're top ranked for total defense in the Pac-12. They gave up the fewest points per game in the conference at 20.4 points per game, and they also led the conference in sacks and tackles for losses. So last year, the Utes held it down on the defensive end.
They did, and this year is going to be very much of the same.
Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about a few of what the defense lost. We lost Clark Phillips.
Yeah, Mohamed Diabate. Yep.
Okay.
He went undrafted and ended up with the Browns.
Yeah, which was very cool to see.
Yeah.
They also had RJ Huberts and defensive lineman Gabe Reed as well. Those are the key departures from last year's defense. Let's talk about, who we have. Let's start with the D-line. You want to start there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about the D-line. How do you feel about them coming into the 2023 season?
I mean, they're returning just about everybody on that D-line, man. I mean, they still got Van Fillinger, Jonah Ellis. As far as on the ends, Van Fillinger played in 27 games has played in 27 games in his career, had 19 starts. This guy was a 4-star athlete coming out of high school. He was the number 2 player recruited out of the state of Utah. He's a big time defensive end. He is a presence out there. If you even miss half a block on him, he's sacking everybody in the backfield. Your quarterback, your running back, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a tackle for loss. He's quick. He moves very well back there. He's one of my favorite defensive ends to watch across all of college football because the dude is just a beast.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about what you think about Simonte Pepe.
Simonte Pepe, I mean, he's one of the defensive tackles coming back. He had some really big moments all the way through last season. It was like whenever the Utes needed a big time stop, he was there to just like bury the center and make a huge tackle for loss in the backfield. He played in a ton of games last year, and he's returning to come back and just keep owning that, to keep anchoring down that defensive line.
Nice. And we can't forget about Junior.
Dude, Junior Tafuna is, he's got a ton of preseason accolades already. He started every game for the Utes last year. Started every single game for him last year.
Maintained healthy season is huge.
Yeah, and he was in the 22 Pac-12 all-conference team. He's got a ton of preseason accolades. To go through them would take another 8 minutes on this video because he's all over the place. He's going to be everywhere again. He's going to be all over every single play. He is going to be one of those guys that's in the All-American conversation.
I like it.
As the season goes. Yeah, for sure.
What about Kareem Reed?
Kareem Reed was Pac-12 all-conference.
Right.
First
team, right?
First team. Absolutely. Yeah. Kareem Reed's a stud, dude. He's coming back, and he's going to be working besides Lander Barton, who was the 22 Pac-12 defensive freshman player of the year. If you're a Utah fan, you know who Lander Barton is. Every one of his uncles, brothers, cousins have played for the University of Utah. He's actually, even his sister played at the University of Utah.
Nice.
But he was a 4-star recruit out of high school. He was the number 2 player in the state. He's amazing to watch on the field. He's fast. He's big. He's physical. He hits very, very hard, and he plays downhill all the time.
Yeah, the scouts have him as a huge threat in the hybrid role with strong pass rushing ability is what's been noted across several different scouting reports on him. So, yeah, really excited to see him out there. Let's talk about the Ole Miss transfer, Mr. Miles.
Hold on, though. On the linebackers role, you missed Lavani Damouni, who is the senior transfer from Stanford. Right.
Okay, yeah, Damouni. Okay, so tell me about Damouni. How did he play last year for Stanford, and what are we looking to see out of him here?
He was a team captain for Stanford, dude. He was like, So I think the Utes are returning a ton of talent with Kareem Reed and Lander Barton. Damouni's definitely going to get some playing time on this team, but I think we're going to look at him for some leadership stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be that voice to keep guiding these guys. Lander Barton's only a sophomore. He was a freshman last year. Kareem Reed's, I believe he's a senior, but and then one of the other linebackers is Hayden Fury. He's a senior as well. He appeared in 13 games as a linebacker last year. So there's a lot of players at the linebackers position that are going to get time, and Lavani Damouni is definitely going to be one of those guys that they're going to look forward to kind of steady the ship. And he provides a ton of depth to continue to play on this roster.
Was he a graduate transfer?
I believe so, because I know he's a senior now. Maybe not graduate transfer. He might just be a senior that just transferred.
Am I allowed to talk about Miles Battles now?
You are absolutely allowed to talk about Miles Battle.
Ole Miss transfer, Miles Battle. Honestly, I see this kid starting. What do you think?
Miles Battle is a very good football player. He was a 4-star recruit out of high school. He's played 4 years at Ole Miss, which is an SEC school that they don't get a bunch of schlums on the football field there at Ole Miss.
No.
But he's got some good competition in that cornerbacks room. The Utes lost obviously Clark Phillips, which is a huge loss. But JT Broughton is a senior this year. He's played in 35 games for the Utes. He was a Pac-12 honorable mention in 2020. And this dude had 5 tackles in the Rose Bowl, one of the biggest games the Utes played in last year. So JT Broughton's going to be ready to come, and he thinks he's ready for those minutes.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. Would you put who would you put first, and who would you put second?
I think Battle's probably going to eke him out. I think it's going to depend on what the schemes are, though, because Miles Battle's a big dude. He's like 6'4", where JT Broughton's only like 6'1", I believe. He's a little bit smaller. So Battle has that height advantage. He's just a really, really good player, man. It's kind of crazy. He actually originally started college playing wide receiver, transitioned to defensive back in 2020.
Really? I didn't know that.
In his best career game, he had 9 stops or tackles. And that was against Alabama.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, he's a super cool story. The Miles Battle one is, you know, when he was at Ole Miss, the coaches were showing him some film of great plays in college football and what defensive backs look like. You know, one of the clips that came up was the Clark Phillips wrap around, punch the ball out.
Right.
And he talks about how that was one of the plays that kind of changed the way that he thought, like, I could do that. I could be that guy. And that kind of led him into ending up at the University of Utah.
Okay.
So pretty cool, man. I hope to see him play. He's a big athletic dude. I kind of hope he earns his right to play and, you know, ends up in the NFL somewhere next year. Nice.
Yeah. When it comes to Miles Battle, I thought he was just going to come in and take the starting spot. He like you said, the size advantage is there, you know, and it's definitely going to play a role.
We haven't even brought up Cole Bishop yet.
Oh, Cole Bishop, safety,
man.
He was there at Pac-12 Media Day.
Yeah,
better golfer than I am.
Better golfer than you are. But I mean, Cole Bishop's a junior. You know what I mean? He's got 24 career games, 19 of those being starts. He ranks second among all Pac-12 secondary players with 5.7 tackles per game in his career.
Yeah, he's gonna be running with. They have that kid who just came off of his mission. That's gonna also be playing safety.
Yeah,
for them.
Nate Ritchie.
Yeah, highly, you know.
Nate Ritchie was a stud, dude. He played in the 2020 season. He played all 5 games, and he was all over the place. So Nate Ritchie's gonna be. I mean, he's gonna be looking to get some of them safety minutes.
Yeah,
and I mean, and that's without even bringing up like Sione Vaki, dude. I mean, Sione Vaki had a great season last year. He played defense and special teams. I mean, he was out there making plays where you're just like, why is this guy not getting more minutes? Oh yeah, it's because Cole Bishop. The Utes are just stacked in this defense, dude. They're 3 and 4 players deep in most positions. It's so refreshing to see them just like they can just reload the talent off the bench over and over and over.
Yeah, it's definitely something they might need to do. Because again,
there's going to be injuries.
Yeah,
for sure. There's going to be injuries. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Honestly, I just think this team is. You know, there's a lot of key losses they came that left the team last year, right? From the 2021 season to 2022 and 20, you know, but the talent they got along with transfers, you know, from Ole Miss and Stanford.
Oh yeah.
And the kids, you know, and, you know, with some returning from missions, I don't think they're going to miss much of a step on defense this year.
No,
from what I've seen.
Yeah, the defense has been retooled. They're going to be ready to go right out the gate. They're going to keep them in every single football game this year, guaranteed.
Yeah, I know we're talking about the defense, but did you see Kincaid's?
I actually didn't. You told me about this, and I actually didn't. I haven't actually seen this yet.
He did a shoestring catch in practice, and I know it's preseason practice for the NFL. Everybody, whatever, but that kid is making noise up there in Buffalo, and it is really impressive. So, you know, I'm gonna be enjoying turning into some Buffalo Bills football this year to see our boy Kincaid out there.
Dude, Dalton Kincaid is a very, very special player.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen him because you're somewhere other in the world that doesn't watch Pac-12 football, tune in. Because I'm telling you, Dalton Kincaid is going to be special in the NFL this year.
Yeah, he's definitely lining it up for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about game 1, right? And let's talk about how this defense is going to line up. So the Gators announced their starter, Graham Mertz.
Yep.
He's a 3-year starter from Wisconsin. Started all 3 years at Wisconsin, and now he's playing for Florida. So he's going to be their starter, which is funny that they announced their starter like 3 weeks ago. We have yet to announce ours, but that's something we'll get into maybe later if we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to talk about is that he is elite in the short passing game, finishing 86% of his short passes within 10 yards. How does this Utah defense stack up against that, you think?
I don't think you're going to be able to beat us in short passes. The Utes move to the ball very quickly. They move in bunches. When you're relying on the short passing game, you're looking for broken tackles, right? You're looking for the defense to make some sort of a mistake, overread something, outstep something. The Utes are very, very sound fundamentally. They're going to tackle you in the open field. And even if you can get 3 or 4 yards on it, the problem is going to be if he makes a mistake and he overthrows something or he throws something behind somebody, it's going back for 6.
Nice.
The Utes have talent all over the field. They're going to track that stuff down. They're going to be on top of those short passes. I understand Wisconsin is in the Big Ten and it's a very talented conference with a lot of great defenses. I don't think he's seen a defense like this yet. that is going to be all over him. And once that Utes defense, you have 2 or 3 defenders on top of you for the first sack of the game, you're thinking differently about how long do I actually have to throw the football?
Yeah. I mean, I will say that the Gators do have a better receiving core than what Wisconsin had. So there is that. Yeah. But again, like you mentioned, his strong suit is going to be the short pass, play action type stuff.
Yep.
So I don't really see,
And that's the thing is, are they going to tailor the passing game to Graham Mertz's short passing, or are they going to try to go over the top and test some of these really talented secondary players that Utah has?
I think that they're going to try to play to a strength and see if Utah's defense can beat them.
Always.
I think that's what they're going to try and do. And I don't see it happening. Like you mentioned, I mean, especially with how much of that defensive line is returning, and the continuity
You're not going to have the time to sit in that pocket and make decisions.
No. So the long game's out.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to throw those short action, you better hope you're ready.
Everybody tries it.
Everybody
tries beating us with these short passes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Utes tackling is just too good. That's my thought. I mean, especially because when you're running these short passing games, the whole idea is you've got to back it up with some kind of running game, right?
Right.
You've got to be able to jam the ball down your throat. When you've got 3 and 4 returning, defensive ends that are just stuffing every single run down your throat, you've got to start looking deeper, and I don't know. I'm sorry, Florida fans. I just think that the defense for the Utes is going to outlast this offense for the Gators. That's my personal opinion.
Now, the line did move from 7.5 for the Utes down to 4.5. So the line did drop. Well, yeah, it's the uncertainty about Cam Rising basically coming.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
I didn't see that though.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
The main reason is probably because of the injury to Rose getting tackled in practice and knocked out of the game, which, by the way,
why are we live tackling our second string quarterback?
And they had that special helmet with the extra pads on the outside.
Well, it's an upper body injury.
Like how? Oh,
yeah, it's an upper body injury to Rose. They're saying that I read one article that was thinking that he might have damaged a lung or something.
Yeah, crazy. It could be out for 10 days or it could be out for the rest of the season.
Could be out for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just I don't know what we're doing in practice to where we're taking out with our star quarterback.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a first round draft pick next year if he's healthy. Why are we risking tackling our backup quarterback? I know you're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to get a starting role. I don't even know who tackled him. Do you know who tackled him?
I don't know who tackled him, but you're fired. Whoever you are, you're fired.
Yeah, so that's just kind of the big thing there.
Scholarship's been pulled. You're out.
With the uncertainty of Cam now, the ACL tear, it's again day to day. If you read body language when it comes to Whittingham's interviews, you can definitely see that there is a huger air of caution on that versus being more gung-ho and being like, oh, it's just for play. I'd say there's about maybe 45% chance that Cam starts.
I think it's higher.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that in the form of a question.
Okay.
If Cam starts, he will be playing at probably 80%.
Agreed.
So would you rather have Cam at 80% or would you rather have Bryson Barnes or Nate Johnson at 100%? Keep in mind that you may, an ACL injury.
I think if you get Cam in there and you can get control of the game, get him out of there as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because again, like we were talking about, the Utes defense is going to keep you in this thing.
Right.
The offense, once you're up 2 touchdowns, can be managed and continue to grow a lead with Bryson Barnes. He's done it before. He'll do it again. He's Mr. Reliable, been with the program 162 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. You said 126 last week, so it's been extra
It's getting longer.
It's getting longer.
It's getting longer. So I would love to see Nate Johnson.
Did you hear about him closing the gap? I mean, that's what Whittingham's saying.
I would love to see Nate Johnson.
Yeah, with Rose going down, and he's getting a lot more snaps with the first.
Yeah, which is helping him develop. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just positioning from Whittingham. Probably could be.
I think the whole thing is positioning. I don't think they're going to give up. I think Cam is probably further along. I don't think they'll let him. I don't think they'll let him play if he's only going to be 80% on the field.
I would agree.
But I think he's further along than 80%.
He's participating in practice, but he's very limited, is what they're saying.
See, and I read that he was participating in practice. I didn't see about his limitations.
Yeah, well, this is coming from Whittingham saying he's limited. That was an interview 3 days ago. So a lot of could have changed since then. I don't know, man. they don't let press into the practices as much anymore. So,
for a reason.
This is,
hold them close, man.
Yeah. So
you've got a game with a big time SEC team that's got a ton of talent everywhere on the field.
Yeah.
And if you can make them try to prepare for 3 quarterbacks rather than 1,
make them do it.
Make them do it.
Make
Absolutely.
them do it, especially even if you're favored, man. But yeah, I don't know. Like Whittingham did go on record saying he's comfortable waiting until 10 minutes before kickoff to decide whether or not he's going to start. So that's why I think there's some positioning involved here. Like he probably knows by now whether or not Cam's will be ready or not at kickoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So with a 4.5 point spread, do you have the over still? Took the over at 7. You still have the over at 4.5.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be closer than it was before. I was taking the over. I thought that Utes had this by a little bit of a margin, but it's definitely getting closer for sure.
Yep.
Anything else on the Utes game?
That's it, man.
All right.
Go Utes.
Well, I'm super looking forward to it. Again, August 31st, 6 p.m. kickoff here at Rice Eccles Stadium, kicking off the college football season. I cannot be more excited for it.
Yep, absolutely. Go Utes.
Yeah, last time for the Pac-12 too, going out with a bang.
Oh, man, so sad.
Yeah. Clutch Sports actually had a bold prediction that Utah's going to three-peat.
Pretty sure you heard that here first.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Clutch Sports didn't say that. I said that. Yeah. Even though my source cited them as a source. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be interesting. Let us know in the comments down below, folks, what you think as far as what you're expecting in game 1 with the University of Utah kicking off college football. Let us know if you take the over or under on the line of 4.5. How do you think this defense is going to stack up against Florida? And also let us know if you guys want us to cover a little bit of BYU. I know we did cover it in the podcast. We were going to put a video out on it, but we just couldn't be bothered. So let us know if our followers, let us know on our channel, our subscribers on the channel. Let us know if you guys like us to break down some BYU or Utah State, because we'd love to do it. This isn't our show.
We're all in. Yep.
This is your show. We're just hosting it. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. Do you have anything on the NFL? Well, we love to talk NFL, but you guys don't watch it, so we're just gonna stop right there.
So that's gonna be a no.
We literally had one NFL video to our OGs out there who watched it that got over 100 views, but other than that, it's some of our most highly researched and highly dedicated
so
content.
Much effort. We put so much effort. We messed up one stat.
One stat. You guys just abandoned us.
You just abandoned us.
That's okay. That's okay. You guys are here for us, so we love it. So, all right. So let's go ahead and pivot to let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Ooh, this is your favorite, bro.
We really need to talk a little bit about baseball this week, I think.
Hold on. I just got a question to start this segment. Hey, Darren, who's the hottest team in baseball?
Oh, that would be the LA Dodgers, my friend.
Oh,
surprising that you
will you tell me more?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and break that down there. So the Los Angeles Dodgers are 14 in their last 16, with the fact that they really kind of what the bed last night against the Cleveland Guardians. Dave Roberts, is
that still a team?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're still in the wild card hunt. I think they're only five games out, but. The funny thing about that is that if Dave Robertson just royally screw up and left a rookie out for one inning too much longer, that would have been a win. But
some mistakes were made.
Yeah, let's just say I do owe somebody an apology, though. I do owe Andrew Freeman, the president of baseball operations for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I do owe him an apology. I said it's no longer in Freeman we trust; it's now in Freeman we question. And boy, was I wrong. Remember we broke down the trades the Dodgers made during the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how that's going so far.
Okay.
So let's start with Lance Lynn, the pitcher that we got from the White Sox.
Yeah, for pretty much nothing, right?
For pretty much nothing. We Trace Thompson and a draft pick, I think, and a cup of coffee, maybe cash considerations as it is. But with the White Sox, Lance Lynn was 6-9. Very nice. In 21 starts with an ERA of 6.47, which basically means on an average of 9 innings, he's giving up 6.5 runs, basically. Guess what it is with the Dodgers so far?
Tell me.
Okay, so far for the Dodgers in 4 starts with LA, he is 3-0 with a 1.44 ERA.
Wow.
He's averaging 5 less points on the ERA since joining the Dodgers.
All of a sudden he figured out how to pitch, huh?
All of a sudden he started to figure I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that he's playing for a team that wants to win.
Maybe he likes warm weather.
Maybe it's not being around TA.
Yeah.
Tyler Anderson, because again, he was with the White Sox. Remember, we talked about the fight last week at second base with J Ram. Which, by the way, guys, thanks for watching that video.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Did you hear? By the way, did you hear TA's apology statement?
I didn't.
So he's getting lambasted because everybody put in. They said, "What would an apology statement be in ChatGPT?" And as a word-for-word match. Like they're saying he used ChatGPT to.
No, that's awesome. He's like, let me get that.
Yeah, which is insane. So Joe Kelly also was one of the players we picked up from the White Sox. Again, former Dodger, nice swing bitch himself.
Also, thanks for watching that video.
Thank you for watching that video. Exactly, almost 2,000 views on that video, which is insane for something a little B subject topic. We talked about baseball.
Just smash that subscribe button. Help us a ton. Thank you.
I appreciate that. But yeah, so Joe Kelly, since becoming part of the Dodgers, he just hit the IL. He's on the 10-day IL now.
How come?
It's Joe Kelly, man. He just,
he just needs a break.
He weighs like $180 and he throws over 100 miles an hour. Like I'll take a 10-day IL now versus later in the season or in the playoffs. So in the postseason, I want him healthy. So 10-day IL all day long. But since joining, he had a 3-point-something ERA. He gave up about 20 earned runs with the White Sox in relief.
Wow.
Which isn't bad. You're usually brought in when you're, it's not terrible, right? As a reliever, he wasn't terrible for the White Sox. In 4 appearances with the Dodgers, he has absolutely no earned runs whatsoever. I think only like 2 hits.
And he has one really good at bat versus Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yes. Yes. Again, check out our previous video if you haven't seen that yet. It was fun to break that down.
Yeah, it was.
Joe Kelly, man, I just absolutely love watching that guy play because
I just love the shit. I just love the trash talking directly after it.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Just walk it off. Doesn't matter.
And just casually, just like,
I got you 0-2. I'm going to throw 2 balls.
I win.
Yeah, exactly. It's like throw it in your hands and I throw one right at your head. Which, by the way, he wasn't right at his head. I see where he's like, oh, he threw it. He's head hunting. It was a little like if he leaned in, I probably would have got his helmet. But
was it high and tight? For sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And does Joe Kelly have control? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But if there's
in the last video, you show the one where he throws a ball through the window.
Yes, that was a changeup. So that's
changeups are tricky.
Yeah, 90 mile an hour fastball. Yeah, he's showing in that previous video, we showed how he's able to throw behind and throw above and be just fine. It's hitting the strike zone with 98 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so he's doing well. He's on the 10-day IL. Ryan Yarbrough was also a pitcher we got at the trade deadline when the Erod trade broke down. In his 5 appearances with the Los Angeles Dodgers, he's only given up 2 runs, which he has over, I think, 8 innings of relief with the Dodgers.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, so 2 runs given up. So, yeah, all the moves that they made really bolstered this team. And, Lance Lynn doing great. Bobby Miller, with the exception of the blow-up, which I don't put on him. I put on Dave Roberts, the manager. He was coming out that with a solid, what's called quality start. And the management blew that one for him. So, then you got Clayton Kershaw coming back. There's good talk about Walker Buehler being ready September 1st after coming off of Tommy John.
Crazy.
So the Dodgers getting hot, really had a good time.
Yeah. And kind of coming together as a team as well.
Yeah. I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr. from the Braves is still your front runner from MVP, but a lot of people are starting to see Mookie Betts as potentially being a guy that could take him over because just the insane way that he's playing right now. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So super excited that I actually get to talk about my Dodgers and how well they're doing. Let's keep it up. And let's hopefully it's going to be Dodgers Braves in the National League Championship Series. That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be a fun one to watch.
Freddie Freeman against his former team, where his replacement is tied.
We might have to live stream that one.
We might have to. I don't know. I'd be a mess.
Comment below. Honestly. You let us know.
I'm going to be a mess. I'll probably be crying, screaming, throwing stuff at the,
I'm not as emotionally invested, so I would be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely, folks. Now, again, there's plenty of teams out there that are doing well in Major League Baseball right now, but definitely hands down, the Dodgers have been the hottest team in baseball since the trade deadline, and it's been fantastic to watch them. So, yeah. Did you also see the comment about last week we talked about the Baltimore Orioles as well? Did you see what the owner said in response to the suspension of their broadcaster for basically just stating facts?
No, I didn't see that.
So we made in the video last week, we talked about how they suspended their broadcaster for basically just reading the line for what was on the screen there. So that was all pre-planned. It's not like he was off the cup. Man, our team sucks. We haven't won here. He basically stated what the truck put together, and he got suspended for it from the ownership.
They're like, how dare you read that?
Yeah. So anyway, he's been reinstated. And in an interview with the ownership group, they kind of like he kind of walked back his statements there, and was like, well, basically saying enjoy the team as while it's lasting right now, because we'll have to pay these players, and a small market team, if you give one person, $10 million, $250 million, and this other player $150 million, we can't pay everybody, like boo-hoo, all this stuff. And I'm just like, dude, you guys got to get out of your own way. The Orioles have the best team record in the American League right now. That's better.
They just can't figure it out.
Better than Rangers, better than the Astros, and the ownership just won't get out of their way. They're in first place, man. This is a Cinderella story.
You're over here saying we're not going to pay everybody.
Yeah,
we're a small market team. We can't afford to pay everybody.
Even though they just got a check for $60 million at the beginning of the season from the TV deal.
Get out of here, Orioles. You're killing yourself.
If you can't run the team, just sell it. Okay? You're at an all-time high. Sell it for $2 billion and walk away.
That easy.
Anyway, so yeah, I just feel bad for Baltimore Orioles fans. They should have nothing but good press going on right now, and their ownership just won't get out of their way. But but yeah, anyway, that's all I have on baseball there. Happy the Dodgers are playing well. Hottest team in baseball. Want to say that one more time because it might not be the same next week.
Dude, we're not even going to talk about Seth Lugo calling out the Dodgers. While we're talking about the hottest team in baseball, man.
Okay, this story. So I almost made a 643 video on this one.
I was kind of hoping you would.
I almost did. It was going to be like a 5-minute rant when we talked about this. Okay, so break it down. Can you break down what happened?
The Dodgers were doing what every team, every player, everybody that's ever even looked or been on a Little League baseball field does. If you see the pitcher and he's showing his hand with the ball behind his back before his pitch, you try to get attention to the batter and let him know what pitch is coming. Yeah. Hey, it's a 4-seam fastball. Hey, he's holding it like a curveball. That's what you do, right? Like everybody does that.
Yeah. He called it Bush League that the Dodgers were doing.
Bush League.
Yeah,
for tipping pitches. They are Bush League.
They're Bush League. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? If you notice that that pitcher is tipping his pitches on what he's throwing, are you just supposed to ignore it,
dude,
and just say no?
Even the Padres manager, Bob Melvin, was in the media and said everybody does what he was accusing the Dodgers of doing. The Padres manager.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Seth Lugo. Yeah, it's not Bush League when you give up 8 runs in a single inning. I'm sorry, bro. It's just not. I'm
going to go ahead and say that the Dodgers got in Lugo's head with their ridiculously efficient hitting because they had an idea of what pitch was coming.
Yeah, it's really hard to miss the ball when you can just sit, change up, sit, curveball, sit, fastball.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Yeah.
What's even better is you realize Lugo was almost a part of the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
He was in that trade before. Like the Dodgers and the Padres were neck and neck to try to get him on their pitching staffs.
Yeah.
And he ended up choosing dude, this could have been a completely different scenario.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he should have gone to the Dodgers.
Yeah, he wouldn't be tipping his pitches and complaining about it later when he blows a game. Yeah. I can't stand that. Like there's people, with the Astros being on trash cans, the Red Sox and the Yankees using Apple Watches, which I still don't see how that would work. I don't know how fast your Apple Watch works, but there's no way when a catcher puts down a sign that your app is going to vibrate fast enough for you to know.
Yeah, no.
Wait, was that mean a curveball or mean a fastball? What was that?
Yeah.
I don't know how that helps, but this kind of stuff, it's just standard baseball, man.
It's just baseball.
It's just
that's all there is to it. If you know what's coming, let somebody know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You just came out looking like a fool, man. Seth Lugo. I'm glad you're not on my team.
Shame on you.
I feel bad for Padres fans. You guys had a World Series because you won a wild card series. And yes, you did. I will tip my cap. You got the better of the Dodgers in the playoffs last year. But man, you have the second highest payroll in baseball, I believe. And you are in second to last place.
And just struggling.
Yeah. So I just feel bad because there's a lot of players on that team that I really like. Yeah.
Now we can be done with baseball if you want.
Okay.
We were talking Dodgers already.
Yeah,
it was a scenario.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was getting a little too heated on the Seth Lugo thing, so I decided not to do the 643 video on it. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna let that one go. I almost did though. I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you. I appreciate that therapy session there. Appreciate it. All right. Do you got anything else on Major League Baseball?
That's all I got, buddy.
All right. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and transition to a little bit about. Let's talk Utah Jazz.
I mean, the Jazz are the basketball team to talk about.
Yeah, apparently.
Especially if you're in Salt Lake City.
Especially if you're in Salt Lake City. Once again, folks, really appreciate the engagement you guys have on our Jazz videos. It is literally our second highest content right now, behind, oddly enough, baseball. So it's an interesting
it's
fan base.
People like you, apparently. You talk more baseball. If it's true, leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
Is Darren more entertaining than me? I don't know.
I just think I talk more than you. I just think that's what it is. But yeah, so the Utah Jazz, we're in the middle of the dog days of preseason where there's really not much going on. We could probably follow FIBA, and we'll probably do a video on that at some point in the next couple of weeks when that really kicks off. I think that's just starting now.
Yeah, we were just doing all the friendly games before.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all that any Jazz players participated in, is just friendly games up to this point. And there's been some Jazz players with some highlight moments. But I think once the FIBA tournament actually kicks off, and leave a comment down below, let us know what you think. Do you want to see some of that coverage? If so, yeah, we'll tune in. Absolutely.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know, because we love to cover that. It's really funny because, you know, it seems like Jazz content is actually quite hot on YouTube. Like every NBA YouTuber is talking about the Utah Jazz right now.
Yep.
So that's definitely something we want to talk about, is the fact that Utah Jazz are one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now, up and coming teams. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about who else we have out there. Who do you see is neck and neck with as the other hot team in the NBA right now?
And I mean, when you're saying hot, I see this as teams that are built similarly, that have rosters built for success soon.
Yeah, we're talking
to be super clear.
Wrong word choice there. Not hot teams, but basically teams up and coming, rising teams.
Up and coming, absolutely. Yep. So, I mean, the other one that comes to my mind immediately, and this was a comment, we'll tag his name on the screen because it was kind of his idea. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're built very similarly to the Jazz. And I mean, I think it's just worth a conversation, right? Like, these are two teams that have a ton of draft picks. They're built similarly. They've drafted players, they've built players, and they're both moving in kind of the same direction. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's going to be very closely around the same time. You know, where all these other teams are falling off, like Golden State and the Phoenix Suns, when, you know, their geriatric squads decide to hit the retirement home. You're going to see two teams in OKC and Utah really kind of rising to the top of the West. So I think that's going to be awesome. I look forward to it. Let's go ahead and break down, though, the comparisons. So let's talk the starting lineup for the Utah Jazz. What are you predicting the starting lineup for Utah?
So I'm curious what yours is, because I know mine might be a little bit different. But I see the starting five is Talon Horton-Tucker.
Okay, same.
Jordan Clarkson.
Okay.
Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, Walker Kessler.
Okay.
So is that what you got too?
Pretty close.
There's some difference.
I don't got Clarkson starting.
What?
I got Sexton starting.
Oh. Okay.
Because I think THT does not have the length. I mean, he does have reach. He doesn't have the size.
THT's 6'4".
Yes, but Sexton is 6'4".
No, Sexton's 6'2".
No, his wingspan is what I'm trying to His reach is much bigger than THT's.
Gotcha.
You know, I think he has almost like a 6'9" or 6'11" wingspan or something ridiculous like that.
Okay.
But anyway, Sexton's got the reach. I think THT at the 1, Sexton at the 2. And I think it's just, you know, Clarkson's just had that role of the 6-man off the bench, the firecracker off the bench that's been good for Utah. I think if there's a chance that he does start, but I don't see him, maybe he starts at the beginning of the year, but I really think that they're either A, going to play Sexton enough as a trade piece to get, you know, to get something back in return for him, or B, they're going to let him roll and let Clarkson stay in his wings. But other than that, I pretty much have the same for you. I got Lauri Markkanen at the 3. I have John Collins at the 4 and Kessler at the 5.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way that Clarkson doesn't start this year.
Really?
Yeah. I think the swap there will be between THT and Colin Sexton. I think that THT is the player with the higher upside, more potential for trade value there. So I could see the Jazz utilizing THT. I mean, kind of like you're saying with Sexton, get him some playing time to see if they can use him as a trade piece. I think they do that with THT. Okay. His contract's a little bit more agreeable. He's still, you know, they can move it really easily. He's a player that's got a ton of upside. He showed a ton of upside with the Lakers. And I think he fits really well with this team as far as, you know, he can drive to the basket. He shot the 3 ball mediocre, but I mean, I think he kind of fits in where Clarkson can really light it up. Marketing can really light it up. Yeah, no, I think I'd like to see THT in the starting lineup, and for just the same reasons you just said. You think Sexton will be there?
Yeah, well, I just figured Sexton would bring back a better return because he's got another year of control.
Correct.
And THT. So maybe, I don't know. That's a good point. I could really, I could see your point there. That makes a good point. But yeah, so that's basically how we have starting. Let's talk OKC. What does their starting lineup look like to you?
I think their potential starting lineup, and Oklahoma City fans, if I mess this up, please leave a comment and tell me. Don't
worry, they're not watching.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a Thunder fan like I am a Jazz fan. I can talk all 18 players on the Jazz roster. I looked at the OKC roster and I was like, okay, this is what I see. They got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
They got Josh Giddey.
Right.
They got Lou Dort. Jalen Williams is one of their power forward guys. He was the 12th overall pick in 2022. I mean, he averaged 14 points a game last year. I'm assuming he's going to be starting next year. And then their big time players are number 1 overall draft pick, Chet Holmgren, who will be returning this year.
My pick for rookie of the year,
Chet Holmgren.
Yep.
I think Oladipo. Sorry,
he's definitely not a rookie.
Yeah, sorry. Victor Oladipo is actually also on the Thunder, and I couldn't find to see if he's injured or not to be in the starting lineup because he could potentially be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Victor Wembanyama is who I was trying to refer to.
Right.
He could. I think he's going to have a great year this year, but Chet Holmgren has had an NBA training staff for the last year. It's kind of like a Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons kind of thing where you sit out a full year. You're much more accustomed to the speed of the game when you actually get in it and you're ready to play. Chet Holmgren could very much be the benefactor of that kind of situation.
Absolutely. And I think he's got all eyes are going to be on Victor and Scoot.
Yep.
Chet's just going to go out there and just play, just ball out of his mind.
Yep. Quietly balling out of his mind. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. So he's my pick for rookie of the year. But all right. So how do you stack those two lineups up against each other? As far as the starting lineup, either one of our starting lineups, honestly, I could see your argument there of having THT and having Clarkson. Let's go with that one as the starting lineup.
Yeah. So, I mean, against the Thunder, that's a tough matchup, dude. Chet Holmgren is going to be very difficult for Walker Kessler to guard. Jalen Williams is a stretch guy. I mean, as far as defensively, I don't think John Collins can't defend him, especially being that he's only, been in the league for a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
But Lou Dort is a lockdown defensive player that he's going to be guarding probably one of our guards and a Jordan Clarkson or Josh Giddey. He's been in the league a couple of years. He's got a ton of experience playing with Australia, but he's a really good player. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is fantastic. I mean, there's better words, I'm sure, but to say it blatantly, he's fantastic. The guy can ball. He's going to get even more experience playing at this really high level with the Canadian national team this year at the FIBA World Cup with our guy Kelly Olynyk.
Right.
So this is going to be a matchup all year long. They're going to get 4 games against each other. And this is going to be one that's going to go back and forth because there's a lot of young talent all the way down the roster. And I mean, obviously I'm a Jazz fan. I like the Jazz's depth. I don't even know some of the names deep into this Oklahoma City Thunder roster.
And that could be an oversight of ours, but I honestly see that that's where the Jazz have a leg up.
Depth
is going to be on the depth.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that we kept all 3 of our draft picks this year, which, and we haven't even discussed them in what I mean, like in a starting lineup rotation.
Yeah, all 3 of them are ridiculously talented.
I was going to throw that at you. What do you think the percentages are that they have our boy Keontae playing in some starting minutes?
I mean, I think the crazy part is I think there's any injury to the front court, John Collins or heaven forbid a Walker Kessler, I think Taylor Hendricks is starting almost immediately. This dude's really, really good at basketball, man.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to play for some reason.
Well, he wasn't medically cleared to play quite yet.
I know. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see the guy. I wanted to see
absolutely
our top pick.
Yeah.
But honestly, I see if, now keep in mind, I'm skeptical because when you have that high ankle roll and you re-aggravate the ankle sprain, I could see that being an issue for him, even just mentally going forward. But honestly, I think Keontae has the same opportunity to have the meteoric rise with a little bit extra size and better shooting that Donovan Mitchell had.
I absolutely agree.
Keontae
George is primed for success in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think if you see any missteps from THT or Colin Sexton, I think you're going to see some immediate minutes from Keontae George. And all he has to do is capitalize on a couple of those. And just like you said, I think we've got a Donovan Mitchell type situation on our hands.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. So, I mean, speaking of which, Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland fans are already talking about trading him already.
I saw that, dude.
He's not resigning with us. You might as well trade him now to get what you can. I'm like, you got 2 years control of this guy.
And where do you think he's going to resign? Like, do you think Donovan's just begging to get back to New York? I think he's going to play basketball at the level that he plays wherever he ends up. Donovan Mitchell's a great basketball player.
Yeah. If New York offers him, the max contract he can get, right, then yeah, he's going there.
Yeah, exactly.
But if Boston offers him more money or Miami offers him more money, he's going there. He's not going to New York.
Go where he's going to pay him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's not. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's just thinking like, I'm going to pick where I'm going. He was here for enough years that's just not the player Donovan is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a very down to earth. He's well rounded. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And I think he's going to be loyal to wherever is going to pay him that money.
Yeah. Not only that, but if all money's equal, then yeah, he's probably going to go to New York. It's where his family is. His dad's in the Mets front office. It would make sense. If all money is equal, he's probably going to New York. But if someone offers him a better deal with a better chance to win a title, he's going there, man.
Yep.
So I don't know why Cleveland fans, make a good run this year and you won't have to trade him.
He'll be sticking around.
Yeah. You make it a conference
you go
finals.
deep into the playoffs. I think he's staying. I mean, I honestly still think he'd be with the Jazz if it was up to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they keep the team together, like the Jazz made the decision to move away from Donovan Mitchell. He didn't make the decision to move away from them.
Yeah. Honestly, just like the Rudy Gobert trade, you can't say no to that, So
well, yeah. I mean the ridiculous haul. And then we start talking draft picks. And it's funny because that kind of ties into why we think that the Jazz and the Thunder are on parallel paths. Jazz draft picks are absolutely insane over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Because of the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert trades.
Yeah.
The Jazz got 1 pick in 24, 3 picks in 25, a first and a second in 26, 4 firsts in 27. It's insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Nine picks in the next 5 years, 4 years, something like that.
Yeah, 1, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12 through 28, 12 first round picks through 28.
Yeah, that's just insane.
Yeah,
it blows my mind. But yeah,
but Oklahoma City has even more.
Yeah, they have even more.
Yeah, 4 firsts in 24 and 25.
I would argue
6 firsts in 26, Darren. 6 first round picks. That's like the whole first round belongs to Oklahoma City.
Wow. I guarantee they start trading those away depending on how their team looks.
So that's kind of the conversation that I wanted to have, though, is at what point do they make a move with some of these picks to get a player in? And Oklahoma City fans, who do you want to see the Thunder move, right? Again, I'm not super familiar with this roster, but is there someone on there that you'd be okay doing without to bring in to elevate this team to a deep playoff run?
I see them trading at least 2 or 3 of those first round picks for some veteran players with some playoff experience to kind of bring in that experience, that locker room experience for them. Because I don't know, I think out of the 2, the Jazz are set to contend a little sooner.
I agree, because
they have a lot more established veteran leadership on the team and established playoff experience on our team than the Thunder have. So but I honestly think the Thunder are in a better position for a long-term success than Utah is. So
yes, the Thunder have a ton of long-term assets that will continue to put them in a position to be successful whenever they choose to be successful, right? When you have that many first-round picks, you can say, okay, we need to add a player. I'm okay dealing 2 or 3 picks for Dame Lillard.
That's the discussion, though. We get that in the comments a lot when we talk about the Jazz. A lot of people are thinking the Jazz aren't going to try to compete for a playoff position this year, and they're just going to see what they can get draft pick wise. I honestly think the Jazz are done, stocking picks. I think that's done for them. I think if it comes their way, great in a trade, but I think they're done. I think they're trying to push for to compete this year.
I totally agree. I think the Jazz have moved from a position where they needed to obtain some draft assets to we need to start winning some basketball games.
Yeah.
And Danny Ainge, it appears that he's on board with that. I think it's really hard to tell a head coach, hey, we need you to lose a few games this year. Right?
I don't think
Will Hardy is a really good head coach, and he wants to win now. He wants to get these players.
You will find out real quick where the Jazz want to do is if we're completely wrong on starting lineup and you see our rookies playing substantial minutes, more than 25 minutes a game. You'll find out real quick if they're still in that rebuild mode. I don't know, man, because I can see it go both ways. They want to see what they got with these three guys, see what they have with those three. But honestly, I think, with all the nostalgia play and the new with the new putting the Jazz back on KJazz, a new streaming service, I think they want to put a quality product on the floor and people are willing to pay a subscription fee.
My vote is we can see all these rookies play when the veteran team that we were able to put on the floor is blowing them out by 30 or 35 points.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
That's the perfect time to see all those rookies play.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love it.
Come on, Jazz. Will Hardy. This isn't a hard equation.
Yeah, we'll give that one to you free.
Yeah.
And the next one, there's a consulting fee for it. All right, you got anything else on the comparison between the OKC and the Jazz?
No, man. I'm actually really excited for the Oklahoma City and Utah games this year.
Yeah, I think they'll be good. I think there's 4 head-to-head matchups this year, right?
Yep, there should be 4.
Yeah,
same division.
So that would be good. Hopefully it's not like last year, man. Like where you played the same team, like.
And I'm curious to see how it works out with the new in-season tournament and all that kind of stuff too, because some of those are going to be in-season tournament games and back and forth. So I haven't seen the whole roster. I haven't actually dug into it I'm sorry, not the roster. I haven't seen the whole schedule yet. So without really diving into it, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that shapes out. But again, folks, let us know in the comments down below what you guys think. Who you think is going to come out on top? I think this is a great B story to follow in the NBA this year. Who's going to have the better year, OKC or Utah? Who's got the better future? Who's going to contend sooner? And all that good stuff. So let us know in the comments down below what you think. If we are way off base on this, if you like my starting lineup over his, because obviously mine's better for obvious reasons. No, I'm just kidding.
Bring it.
I actually like yours better, to be honest with you. Anyway, but yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you guys think and what you guys want us to cover as far as if we want to watch some FIBA basketball. You guys want us to cover how well the Jazz are doing during the rest of this preseason season.
Preseason season, man.
Yeah. Because obviously our content's going to be pretty heavy focused on Utah football when it comes to local sports going forward.
Yeah, Utah football's coming, but let us know on the Jazz. If you got other ideas, we love them. Like I said, this was from a viewer. So,
yeah, definitely do it.
It was a great comment.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, again, we will comment you down below to make sure you get your due credit for that. So again, let us know if you guys want us to talk about anything else. As a reminder, we are giving away $500. The first $500 we earn in AdSense revenue from YouTube, we're going to be giving back to our subscribers. We're going to be picking 5 subscribers. Each one of them are going to receive $100, and we're just going to give that back to you folks once this channel is monetized.
Hit the subscribe button. It could be you.
That's right. That's right.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you subscribe.
That's right. And folks, again, as a reminder, this is available as a podcast. You will see at the end card over that way. You'll see the playlist for all the full episodes. They're available as a podcast. You can also find us wherever you find your podcasts. So once again, folks, my name is Darren. That is AJ. This has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.